I'm Karlyn Borysenko. I'm an analyst and independent journalist covering the far left in America, and I just did a whole walking tour around Cal Anderson Park in Seattle, which is basically like home base Antifa headquarters, and I want to show you some of the things we saw. We have to start out first with the Antifa Mobile, which is a guy that claims to be an Antifa that is selling his stuff on the side of the road. There was a lot of stuff like this: community organizing against the police, community organizing against ICE. All of this is to push a far-left political agenda designed to abolish the prison industrial complex. There was a ton of trans stuff. You're going to see a lot of trans stickers. In this one, we've got, if they come for us in the morning, they will come for you at night. There's a razor blade on that lamppost too, which is a little bit terrifying. This Miss Piggy poster with the gun says, "Arm the dolls." The dolls are what they refer to as trans women. Kill all cops. Abortion access is community responsibility. God is trans graffiti. ACAB, we saw a lot of those. That means all cops are bastards. Lot of stuff around anti-Israel and divestment posted all over the park. Oh, hey, look, if you want to get abortion pills, they will tell you right where to go, plancpills.org. So if you need your illegal abortion, they got you covered. This is a good one. Ballot and ballot box being a brick thrown into a police window because remember, anarchists don't vote. ICE is the KKK. This was one of the most interesting things. They had a big old ACT UP monument, including the classic "Silence Equals Death." That is a reference to the ACT UP movement in the 80s, which is the very first militant queer activist movement. There is the full "Silence Equals Death" ACT UP display again. This is a full-on exhibit in Cal Anderson Park. This is a dumpster right next to the park, specifically kind of taunting the Trump administration on the National Guard stuff. You got anti-ICE graffiti, ACAB again. Police have no authority on stolen land. These stickers were all over the park. We just missed the trans joy picnic in the park by a single day. Too bad. Better luck next time. There were posters for the Seattle Anarchist Book Fair all over the park. Of course, that's where we went yesterday. Oh, look, a guide for you to trans your name. And this one I'm just showing you because if I had to see it, then you do too. You can see here, this is an old sign that says the Seattle Revolutionary Socialists. It was pretty torn down, but you could still make out that part. Trans Solidarity March. You can see there were a bunch of remnants of stickers placed there by the Revolutionary Communists of America. We know what that looks like because we've seen their stickers before, but that it looks like that one's been torn down now. You should be a gay baby. I don't know what that means, but it was graffitied in the park. Free Palestine graffiti. You can see here on this sign, we got people over profit right there. Children in Gaza are dying. This, by the way, is outside of the children's play area in the park. And then you can see this is actually inside the children's play area. It was graffitied with all sorts of Free Palestine stuff. Again, children's play area, Free Palestine. And this is also in the children's play area. Seattle stands with Palestine and the genocide. Of course, the graffiti is just allowed to remain there. It doesn't really seem like they clean it off. This is graffiti on a rock. It's kind of hard to read, but it says "Believe trans people." Another sign for the abortion bills if you need to be unpregnant. And then this is actually a sticker we saw on a street sign. Those are the abortion pills, mifepristone and misoprostol. Those are the pills you take if you want to have an abortion in your home. They're telling people to mask up so that their identity won't be taken from them. All sorts of union organizing stuff. These stickers were all over the park. Lots of abolish the police stuff, abolish prison stuff. Of course, that's a very big issue on the far left. Another abolish the police thing with a cat for some reason. Reject and disrupt ableism, homophobia, Islamophobia, racism, sexism, transphobia, xenophobia, and all oppressive acts. Of course, that all means capitalism. Black trans lives matter. I don't know what this is a QR code for, but it has a giant progress flag on it, but the QR code didn't work anymore. More anti-Israel stuff, divestment from Israel. Pride is a riot, written on a street sign. Of course, that's a reference to militant queer activism. Free Palestine stickers just stuck all over street signs. There's another one. It used to say globalize the Intifada. Intifada, of course, means worldwide socialist revolution. Has nothing to do with the Jews, has nothing to do with Islam. It is always a reference to socialist revolution and anti-capitalism. Fuck fascist sticker. You can't obstruct a police state by electing a cop. That's a reference to Kamala Harris. Remember, the far left did not vote for Kamala Harris. They didn't like her because she was a cop. Again, abolish ICE stickers were everywhere. No human is illegal, especially on stolen land. Fascist Trump must go. This is the Revcoms. That's who runs Resist Fascism. No war but class war sign. That's again the Revolutionary Communists of America. ACAB means ICE. Remember when they're talking about abolishing the prison industrial complex, they think that ICE is a part of that. And this one of Elon Musk getting shot with a gun that was plastered to a street sign. Oh look, we can get a trans queer tattoo artist. I was really hoping for one of those. And this sticker was all over the place. 'Tis a lovely day for abolition. Of course, abolition means abolishing capitalism. It may also be a reference to the prison industrial complex. Resist state oppression. Again, that's a reference to capitalism. No one rules if no one obeys with the anarchist symbol. And that kind of looks like an anime character, so that means they're probably targeting young people. And this is an example of anti-ICE organizing. Of course, anti-ICE organizing is a big thing on the far left right now. They're trying to organize in the community to help prevent deportation. And there's the other side of that sign. If ICE comes to your door, just don't open the door. It's real simple. And if you want a trans therapist, well, you can find one there if you feel like it. Stuff like this stuck all over street signs. We got Make America Great Again, Deport Trump. We've got Free Palestine. Even land back graffiti, that's a reference to the far left. And then on the other side of the street sign, Make Rich People Afraid Again. And those are guillotines, if you can't tell. And after our little tour of Cal Anderson Park, I went to a leftist bookstore that was right next to it, and I got myself a they, them hat, because why not? When you're in leftist Seattle, do what leftist Seattle does. That is the highlight reel from my tour of Antifa Central in Seattle, Cal Anderson Park. If you appreciate my work, please support it over on my Substack, Karlyn, Karlyn, .substack.com. I got lots more stuff coming from Seattle. These are not the only pictures I have. We went to a bunch of far left bookstores today. We're going to be trying to go find the Lenin statue tomorrow. So still being very productive in Seattle. Great trip so far. W trip. We got a ton of far left propaganda at the book fair, and we're not slowing down. So I appreciate you guys hanging out with me on this wild ride, and I will be back at you soon with more info from the far left.